day and welcome to today's episode of What is Trending. My name is Angelo Himalayas and I am your anchor. I have a lot of updates for you. This is going to be as a form of analysis for all those who have been sending questions to me through a direct message or asking me physically or even calling me on the phone to ask for a few explanations on some political issues that they've really understood on a peripheral basis. I have your questions and I have more explanations explained and analyzed by people who are experienced in this field, and it's for your own consumption and for the consumption of other viewers of ours in Nigeria and outside Nigeria. First of all, a lot of people have been asking and reactions have been coming up to me physically and then also through direct messages on my social media platforms about an explanation, a vast explanation on who Bola Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu is, his narcotic cases, his indictment by the US, and then his forfeiture of millions of naira to the US government and a court in Illinois. All right, I have an explanation for you from an investigative journalist, David Hunein, who has gone far and near to gather up information pertaining to the trial cases and everything surrounding the indictment of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu by a court in Illinois. But before we go further, I have a video for you talking about a Nigerian pastor and also a preacher and a televangelist too. I'm talking about Pastor Joshua Iginla. Pastor Joshua Iginla is the founder and the senior pastor and general overseer of the Champions Royal Assembly. Okay, this particular church is found in Kubwa, Abuja. He addressed his congregation on Easter and being today about the fake prophecies that he termed fake prophecies by other men of God, talking about those men of God who have prophesied that Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, will be victorious at the polls. And even as he is no longer, or he didn't come out victorious at the polls, these men of God are still prophesying that Peter Obi will still reclaim his mandate. Now, Pastor Joshua Iginla has further come out to term all those men of God and their prophecies as fake. And he has asked them to have a redress of their steps and watch Bola Asiwaju Tinubu become the president of Nigeria come 29th May as he's going to be sworn in. Pastor Iginla didn't leave anything out, directing all messages to different men of God, although he didn't name names, but he told his congregation that any man of God who has come forth to prophesy to Peter Obi or to prophesy to his congregation that Peter Gregory Obi, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, is going to be victorious even after the sitting of the judiciary, talking about the presidential tribunal, election tribunal, Pastor Iginla said any man of God that says that or is terming or pointing at that stands to be a fake sort of a prophecy or a prophet. Let us watch or listen to Pastor Joshua Iginla as he addresses his congregation.
I watch His Excellency, the President-elect, how he was abused. I don't care what you think about him. As soon as he was elected, people have started going, Your Excellency. Whether you like it or you don't like it, Your Excellency. On the 29th, they will swear him in. Those who are giving prophecy of perdition, you are wasting your time. I'm warning you. Yeah. You have made mistake in prophecy. Don't make another one. Keep quiet and humble yourself. Respect yourself. Don't make the name of the Lord to be blasphemed. This is what you did to Buhari. 8 years has finished now. He will soon hand over. You are the one making this thing last the way you are doing. You don't they talk again. You they talk. You fail one prophecy. You don't go to part 2 again now. You won't destroy your image. If I were any man of God in Nigeria, at the way Nigeria is going, keep quiet. There are certain prophecies you should not prophesy. Just say everything will leave it to God. How God wants to drive Nigeria is in the hands of God. I've told you that it's a mystery. Keep quiet. If you continue to carry your emotions and feeling, enter this, you will destroy yourself. Even these politicians that you are fighting, they will soon meet in Dubai, London, Paris. They will settle, you will be fighting. God is performing a spiritual surgical operation. And God is not true. But one thing I can tell you that this operation is 75% almost concluded. And there's nothing any of you should have fear about. We've crossed one of the most dangerous paths that I as a prophet was afraid of. So if anybody tell you that war is coming, that person is blind. No war is coming.
Thanks for joining us. If you're just coming up, this is Nation's Voice Tower, your most preferred YouTube channel. And that particular YouTube channel you trust to give you updates on politics and anything surrounding the political scene and system in Nigeria and outside Nigeria. Alright, that is that from Pastor Joshua Iginla. He didn't leave any stone unturned there. He directed his comments to all men of God, especially those who have been prophesying about the politics of Nigeria and the outcome of the presidential election tribunal that is going on. That is that about that. Next, I have David Hundeyin. I told you about David Hundeyin at the beginning of this video, and I told you that this David Hundeyin is an investigative journalist. He's also an activist and an author. Okay, he's also the founder of West Africa Weekly, which is a Substack newsletter. Now, in this particular video, he has given us the difference between Bola Asiwaju Tinubu and Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party. He also explains in this video all issues surrounding Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his indictment, his forfeiture of millions of naira to the US government, and so on and so forth. I would like you to listen and then you watch him analyze this critically, especially to those who have sent me direct messages, who have called me on phone, and many people who have met me physically, to please give them a brief or a broad explanation or a broader understanding of the issue surrounding Bola Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu's case with Peter Obi and what the documents tendered by the Labour Party and its candidate to the judiciary, what the document tends to do to the political career of Bola Asiwaju Tinubu, and all issues that surrounded his trial in the US and his indictment. Listen to David Hundeyin, a very good journalist and an investigative one at that. He gave us an overview on everything. Watch him and listen to him as he gives a broad understanding.
The drug trafficking indictments that the candidates of the All Progressives Congress had in 1993. And as I've appeared on this show before to speak about this case, anyone who hasn't read the case files can easily Google them and find them. They are everywhere now. These case files have been sourced from the U.S. District Courts of Eastern District of Illinois, the Northern District of Illinois Eastern Division. And essentially, you have this fellow, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who was identified by IRS investigative special agent Moss as a bagman, that's a money launderer working on behalf of a drug ring that was trafficking heroin in Chicago. Fellow was involved in drug trafficking. And this is not an allegation. This is not a claim. This is a documented fact. Right? There are legal documents backing this up. Right? This guy forfeited $460,000 of funds that were, I quote, proceeds of narcotics trafficking. This is on record.
And I believe so too, because I've actually seen the data. So the results sheets, the hundreds of thousands of results sheets, which were not sent, even though they were supposed to be sent, and which we eventually got access to, it indicates very clearly that Peter Obi didn't just win the election. He actually won it in a landslide. However, the problem with, well, I don't want to say the problem, but the key difference between Peter Obi and Bola Tinubu is that Peter Obi is not a career politician. Peter Obi is a billionaire businessman who happens to go into politics. Had it been the roles were reversed, and it was Tinubu who was in a situation where he won an electoral landslide and then his mandate was stolen by the other candidates, what Tinubu would have done is something like what's that Kenyan candidate who lost the election? What's his name? Thank you very much. So what Raila Odinga did in I believe it was 2015. Was it 2016? No, it was 2015, where he was declared the what's his name? Uhuru Kenyatta was declared the winner of the election. Then Raila Odinga took his supporters to some stadium or whatever and got some judge to do like a mock swearing in and called himself the people's president. That kind of stunt, even though you could say it's treasonous, that's exactly the sort of thing Tinubu would have done if he was in Peter Obi's position. Because that's what a politician would do. If you know that the people are on your side, or you have a large enough number of people on your side, then you know that there are other cards you can play in addition to just going to court, because you know that the security agencies, for example, are not going to come after you, because if they know that if they do, they can start a civil war. So you play that to your advantage. That's what an African politician would do. Well, Peter Obi is, as I said, is a businessman, he's not a politician. So because I've actually spoken to him since the announcement, and all he's concerned about is, well, gather evidence, go to courts, gather evidence, put our legal case together properly, blah, blah, blah. But the thing, I personally, I haven't told him this. I'm not part of his campaign team anyway. But what I personally believe is, when you're working in an African context, in addition to following the letter of the law, you always have to have a certain element of, you know what, I have the carrot, but I also have a stick. So if I'm doing things the right way and you're determined to frustrate me, even though I'm trying to do things the right way, I have another thing in reserve, and I'm going to make sure that you can see it. I might not use it, but I'm going to make sure you can see it and see that they have the capacity to use it. And that might make you think twice about trying to frustrate me. I personally believe that Peter Obi should, ever since the supposed results were announced, he should have come out publicly and led maybe a couple of rallies or something, just a show of force. Not a protest, not a riot, nothing like that, but just a rally, just a show of force, just so the authorities understand that this thing isn't going to be as easy as you think it is. It's not a matter of you just declare anyone you like to be the winner and then the person gets sworn in and that's the end of that. Now, the youth are still here. They're still on the streets. They've not gone anywhere. And you're going to have to answer that question to them. That's what I think he should have done. But ultimately, obviously, I mean, he's the one running for president, not me. And I can only speak as an outsider. I mean, if I knew as much about politics as he does, probably I'll be the one who would have been running for president, not him. So, well, we have to wait and see.
Yeah, welcome back. It is still Nation's Voice Tower, and I am still here standing in for you, waiting to give you a brief analysis on what David Hundeyin said in that video. I believe we all have understood and heard from the journalist there. His experience, he has gathered up information from both the public space and Nigeria and abroad, and also information that are available in the court in Illinois, and then those made available in the US case files and archives pertaining to foreign citizens and those citizens of the country. Yes, David explained there that issues pertaining to Bola Asiwaju's life and then his indictment by the US, his trials, his life, and then whatever that brought him out to the US government and that made him face charges in that same court in Illinois. Okay, this narcotic case, as alleged by the US, were since tend to be resolved, but there are few people who are around that feel these cases are not resolved yet, because Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is yet to face punishment or is yet to face sanctions as regards the law and what the law says about narcotics and those who involved in drug trafficking and so on and so forth. So too, he went further to explain that the case of Bola Asiwaju Tinubu and Peter Obi could be termed to that one that happened in Kenya sometime in 2015 when Uhuru Kenyatta won the elections, but his counterpart and his opposing party counterpart, talking about Raila Odinga, couldn't hold it and felt his mandate was stolen from him, and he went on to declare himself president by getting some group of judges to stand in somewhere like a stadium and announce him president of Kenya via an impromptu or a sort of unconventional swearing-in ceremony. Now, let us look at Peter Obi and Bola Asiwaju Tinubu. if Peter Obi is being arraigned or is allegedly trying to be arraigned for treason and statements that could cause anti-party, or sorry, I beg your pardon, anti-democratic issues in the country, as well as his deputy, talking about Dr. Baba Ahmed, that means Peter Obi is supposed to fight till the end. What am I trying to say? For somebody who lost at the polls, allegedly, and for someone who feels his mandate was stolen from him, and he deems it fit that the Honorable Court is the best platform for him to resolve this issue of a stolen mandate. We shouldn't really indict such a person. We should rather call such a person a peaceful man, because there are people who can outrightly cause havoc, cause riot, cause a rebellion because their mandate was stolen from them, especially when they have glaring evidences that are crystal clear to both the public and those who cannot see. Talking about this, you could see that Peter Obi feels and always makes statements on air and off air that the best way to reclaim his mandate is by going to the Honorable Court and tabling his issues before the judiciary. And that is the only medium he feels conventional to reclaim his mandate. No other medium. That is to say that this particular politician, of course, we could say that Peter Obi is not really a politician, but he is a businessman who wants to really, or who has plans to make Nigeria a better place, according to him. So if he feels the court, the Honorable Court, is the best platform for him to reclaim his mandate, that means the Nigerian government and especially the Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed, shouldn't term and point fingers at someone who has not started a rebellion or someone who is yet to cause a political catastrophe as a result of a stolen mandate. That is that from our table about the updates I gave to you. I hope you've really listened, especially those who have been sending me direct messages and asking me physically to explain the issues surrounding Asiwaju Tinubu's narcotic case and his forfeiture of millions of naira to a court in Illinois. Thanks for joining us. If you are just an incoming subscriber, make sure you tap the subscribe button and make our videos go viral. If you are an already existing subscriber, do same and make sure our videos go viral. Don't forget, this is Nation's Voice Tower, and I will still come back to give you more updates. It's me, your anchor, Angelo Himalayas, and don't forget to always drop a comment for us in the comment section. Thank you very much. See you next time.